Have you ever really stopped to think about what you're seeing in the mirror? I mean, really think about it? It seems so simple, right? But it turns out your reflection is hiding some absolutely incredible science. Today, we're going to unlock a few of those secrets.
So, we're going to dive into two big questions. First, what's actually happening when you see that glint of light in your hair? What creates that shine? And second, and this one is a real mind bender, how is it that putting makeup on your eyes and lips can somehow make the skin on your cheeks look smoother? The answers, I promise, are going to surprise you.
All right, first up, hair. It's easy to just think of it as, well, hair. But in reality, every single strand is a really complex optical instrument. And figuring out how it works has been a huge challenge, even for the pros who create super realistic computer graphics. So here's the absolute key to understanding this. Your hair isn't opaque like a painted wall. It's actually translucent. That means light doesn't just bounce off the surface, it actually travels into and through the hair itself. This one idea is the key to everything else. And check this out. This is what a single hair looks like under a powerful microscope. You're looking at the outer layer, called the cuticle. And as you can see, it's not a smooth tube at all. It's covered in these tiny overlapping scales, kind of like shingles on a roof, and they all point toward the tip of the hair. This little detail is incredibly important. Okay, so because of that scaly, translucent structure, physicists figured out that light interacts with hair in three main ways. First, some light just reflects right off the surface. That's the simple one. Second, some light passes straight on through. And third, this is the cool one, some light goes in, bounces off the inside back surface, and then comes back out towards you. And this is how we get that gorgeous, shiny look. The light that bounces right off the surface, that creates that sharp white glint you see. But the light that travels inside the hair actually passes through your hair's pigments, and that creates a second colored highlight. And because of those tilted scales we saw, these two highlights are physically separated, which gives hair that amazing sense of depth and sheen. So, why does all this physics matter? Well, look at this. On the left, you've got an old computer model of hair. It looks kind of flat, a little plasticky. But on the right, that's a rendering using this new, more accurate physics model. The difference is just incredible, right? It suddenly looks real. The highlights, the color, the depth, it's all there. All right, now let's switch gears completely. We've gone from the physics of hair to the psychology of perception. Let's tackle that second question. Why does makeup make your skin look smoother, even in places you haven't put any on? Well, the secret isn't actually in the foundation, it's in your brain. Here's the thing you have to understand. Your perception of your own skin isn't like a photograph. It's not a direct one-to-one recording of reality. What you see is an interpretation, and it's massively influenced by whatever is right next to it. Your brain is constantly comparing and contrasting everything it sees. And this process actually has a name. It's called contrast gain control. It's one of the fundamental ways our visual system works. Based on the context, your brain will either crank up the volume on certain features, making them stand out, or it'll turn the volume way down, making them fade into the background. Researchers proved this with a truly brilliant experiment. First, they noticed that if you put high-contrast black bars over a picture of skin, the skin underneath actually appears smoother to an observer. So they thought, let's try this with makeup. They amped up the contrast on a person's eyes and lips, but left the cheeks completely bare. And the result was just astonishing. People who looked at the photos rated the untouched cheek skin as being more even and having fewer wrinkles. So as the researchers themselves put it, makeup isn't just about covering things up. It's about manipulating contrast. By making your eyes and lips really stand out, by increasing their contrast, you're tricking your brain into turning down the contrast, or the visual volume on the texture of the skin right next to them. It is a powerful, powerful illusion. Okay, we've done physics, we've done perception. Now let's dive into biology for a truly strange and counterintuitive twist. What if the technology that was designed to remove your hair could, in some cases, actually make it grow back even more? It's a real, documented medical phenomenon. It's called paradoxical hypertrichosis. Basically, it's when new, fine, dark hair suddenly starts growing in an area right next to a spot that was treated with lasers, or intense pulsed light, for hair removal. And we're not talking about some super rare, one-in-a-million side effect. Some studies have reported this happening in up to 10% of patients who get light-based hair removal, especially on the face and neck. I know, this seems like it completely defies logic. The entire goal of the treatment is to destroy the hair follicle with light and heat. So how on earth could it possibly trigger more growth instead?
The whole secret comes down to one word: dosage. High-energy lasers create enough heat to completely kill the follicle. Job done. But if the energy level is too low, it's not enough to destroy the follicle. Instead, that low-level light acts as a stimulant. It essentially wakes up neighboring follicles that were dormant, kicking them from their sleeping phase right into an active growth phase.
And here is the final perfect twist. This exact same biological principle, it's called photobiomodulation, is used on purpose for the complete opposite effect. You know those low-level laser therapy caps and devices you can buy to treat hair loss? They use that exact same low-level light energy to stimulate and awaken follicles. So the same tool can cause hair loss or hair growth. It all just depends on the energy level. So the next time you look in the mirror, remember what you're really looking at. It's this amazing, complex story told by physics, with light scattering off microscopic scales. A story told by perception, with your brain running a real-time editing program on your own face. And a story told by biology, where the very same treatment can have completely opposite effects. It really makes you wonder, what other incredible secrets are hiding right there in front of us, in plain sight?